Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by Joey Mullins, and we are here for the Week 13 college football pick'em. After this week, we have just one more week of regular seasons, and then we're starting playoffs. Joey, how we doing over there, man?
Doing pretty good. Looking over this slate of games, got some pretty good matchups.
Yeah, Carolina had a win last week to make them bowl eligible over Wake Forest.
Woo.
It's gonna make you happy they're at least going to a bowl. Kentucky beat Murray State. Yeah, that's something. and they've got to win out to make a bowl, and I don't know if that's going to happen with who they've got playing this week. But yeah, good week last week in football. BYU lost their first game of the year, so they're no longer undefeated, but they're still in the playoff hope because they lead the Big 12. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And last week on our picks, Joey, you went 14-7. And I went 20-1. I lost one game last week on this podcast. Joey, do you know which game I lost?
I can't. It's not coming to me. I can't think.
I'll give you a hint. It's in our state.
Louisville? No.
Yes. We
Oh, it
both
was?
picked Louisville, and Stanford beat Louisville. Yeah.
Uh,
And that is the only loss I had. I picked BYU to lose. They lost. I picked Florida to beat LSU. I picked Georgia to beat Tennessee. I mean, I picked all of them the right way, except for the Louisville Cardinals. And that's why it is L's down up here, because it should have been last week. I went with them, and they go out to California, and they lose to Stanford. And I could have had a
Man.
perfect record last week, which is 20-1 is ridiculous.
Neither one of us has hit a perfect week, have we?
No, you had a week
You were
early in
close.
the year where you were like 17-1, and then this is my first week where I am 20-1. My overall record is now 180-47, and yours is 170-57, which is like
Not bad.
killing
Not bad
it.
at all.
Absolutely killing it. Oh man, but yeah, those Dirty Birds, man, let me down again. I don't even know why I trust them. That's my fault.
You almost went the other way. You did. I
Oh,
remember the part. You almost went the other way.
almost. I should have. I definitely should have. Those Dirty Birds, man. Can't
Get you every
trust them.
time. Nope.
They get you every time. And then, like I said, Kentucky, they had a win last week against Murray. It's Murray. So, there's not much really to, talk about there with them. But and then Carolina had a win against Wake Forest. There is some news in the football world. I know we're doing a college football podcast, but it was just reported here a little bit ago that the Giants have cut Daniel Jones.
Wow.
You talk about bad decisions. One was drafting him that high. Two was paying him instead of paying Saquon Barkley. Oops.
Yeah, that second one was probably the worst decision I could have made out of the two. But yeah, man, cut him.
Cut him. Gone. He's free to go wherever now. I don't think too many people's going to take him, but somebody will take him as a backup. But man, that's a wasted pick for them. Number 6 pick overall in 2019. But yeah, that's the NFL news. But we'll go on and we'll get started with our picks, and we get started tonight at 10 o'clock. The number 24 UNLV Running Rebels travel to San Jose to face the San Jose State Spartans. UNLV is a 7.5-point favorite. The over-under is 59.5. Joey, what are you thinking on this one?
Oh well, uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna go UNLV. Um, I mean they've played good all year. 4-1 in the conference. Um, I just don't think that I just don't see them losing this game. Um, Now every pick I pick was a bad week last week. I'm gonna be a little rocky, little hesitant, but yeah, I'm gonna go with UNLV. Give me the spread and over under is a little high. I know UNLV likes to score.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say give me the over.
So ever since UNLV has had Haj Malik Williams take over at quarterback, they've played pretty good. They were undefeated when Sluka was in there and just quit. But Haj Malik has played pretty decent. He's more of a running kind of quarterback, but he can pass the ball around. He's got Ricky White out there that he could throw to. Um, so they haven't been. I mean, they've been good. I mean, they're ranked in top 25. San Jose State, on the other hand, the last time they had a top 25 team come into their place was last week, and that was Aston Genty and the boys, and they got beat 42-21. So this week they've got another top 25 team coming in. I like for them to drop it again. Give me UNLV in this one. I think that they'll cover the spread and give me an under. That's a lot. I don't think San Jose State could score a whole bunch. I mean, they can, but I don't think they will in this one. And UNLV will put up some points. This may be a good game if you're betting college football to put a little player props on UNLV.
Yeah,
But give me the running Rebels in that one. And now that's the Friday slate of the top 25 at least. Now we head to Saturday. And boy, this is a big noon kickoff right here as we kick it off on Fox, 12 o'clock, top 5 matchup. The surprising number 5 Indiana Hoosiers travel to the Big House to face the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State is an 11-point favorite. The over-under is 52.5. Joey, what do you think about this top 5 matchup right here?
man, this is to me this is the game to watch tomorrow. Tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that we don't have to wait till 9 o'clock or 7:30 to get it kicked off. Good high noon. Let's just get it over with. Uh,
Mhm.
I mean, you can't. Ohio State, they're tough at home. They're beatable at home for sure. Uh, Man, it's tough. Rourke's had a good year. Howard's had a great year too. Um, Judkins, Smith. I mean, all those guys. But I'm gonna have to roll with Indiana in this one. I'm gonna roll with Indiana. I think Indiana stays on this streak. I mean, they're 10-0. You know, they've earned my respect to give them this pick, and which ultimately I think the game could go either way. But if I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick Indiana and give me the over. I think there'll be a lot of points scored in this one.
So Indiana, like I said, they're 10-0. They're coming off of a bye, extra week to prepare for Ohio State. Ohio State last week in Wrigley Field kind of struggled to begin with against Northwestern, but they end up pulling away later on, 31-7. Um, I think in this one here, man, Indiana's going into the Big House. This is going to be a totally different environment than what they're used to. This is a step up in competition for them. They've been feasting on the lower end of the Big Ten. This is definitely the top of the Big Ten that they'll be playing. One of the top of the Big Ten that they'll be playing. I think the Cinderella run ends in this matchup right here. I'm rolling with the Buckeyes in this one. I think that they win. I don't think they cover, though. I think Indiana's going to keep it really close. 11 points is a lot. I could see Indiana staying within 7. And give me the over on that over-under. 52.5. Indiana can put up points. We know Ohio State can put up points. So I like the over in this one. But you're right. This is a game that we're not going to have to wait until 9 o'clock to watch. And Is it me or does Ohio State play every week at 12 o'clock? I mean, it seems like they're always the big noon kickoff game.
Always,
But
every day, every Saturday, every week. You're right.
but yeah, I'm rolling with the Bucks in this one. So we're already different. Second game of the Pick'ems. The next 12 o'clock matchup, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons travel to Miami to face the number 8 Miami Hurricanes. Miami, a 24-point favorite. Joey, you like another upset right here?
No, not here. Um, Wake Forest is not good. I mean, Carolina beat them, but still, that's like I said, Wake Forest is not good. Um, Miami, coming off that loss to Georgia Tech, um, you know, they were down big in the first half of that game. Well, not down big, but they were down. And all the announcers kept saying, well, they're a second half team. They've done it all year. And they just didn't do it. Um, Cam Moore wasn't able to get going. He wasn't able to get in the rhythm. Didn't look like he was comfortable. Uh, Respeto, I always butcher his name, but I'm gonna start
Strep
calling him
throat, yeah.
Mr. Respect or Strep Throat. But yeah, him and Cam Moore just they look like they were out of sync. Um, so I look for him to get back on the same page, get back in sync, and I look for Miami to bounce back, and I look for Miami to cover that 24 points easy. And I'm gonna say, give me the under in this one. I know Miami can score a lot of points, but Wake Forest, I just don't think they're gonna be able to put up a whole lot against them.
Yeah, Wake Forest comes in this game. Wake Forest has to win out to make a bowl game. I think it's a long shot for them. Miami coming off of a bye week last week, kind of get them time to get rejuvenated a little bit after that loss to Georgia Tech. They had a shot at the end. Cam Ward fumbled the ball, and I said he fumbled his Heisman hopes as well that day.
Yeah.
But they were off last week. They've looked, they didn't look that good last week, but in ACC play, they've kind of played down to the competition a little bit. They haven't really beat too many teams down in the ACC like they was before, but they still score a lot of points. I'm not picking Wake Forest in this, of course. I'm going with Miami, but I think Wake Forest will cover that spread, and it's going to be over 66.5. No, well, hold on a second. Yeah, give me the over. Give me the over in that one. But I think Wake Forest covers, though. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Miami's defense isn't that good. Their offense is good. Wake Forest defense isn't good. This is another player prop game right here that you can bet on for Miami player props for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The next matchup, 12 o'clock matchup. This game right here looks a little bit better than it did earlier in the year. The number 9 Ole Miss Rebels travel to Gainesville to face the Florida Gators. Ole Miss, 12.5-point favorite. Over-under is 55.5. Joey, Florida coming off of a big win last week at LSU. Think they could do it again this week?
I think this game's going to be close. It's going to surprise, some people, but I ultimately think Ole Miss continues their uh, little mini run they got going here, coming off the win against Georgia, um, the beatdown of Georgia, should I say. I think Jackson Dart's going to continue to do what he does, um, keep hooking up with Harris. Yeah, give me Ole Miss in this one. Um, give me Florida to cover for sure. Um, with Florida's, they've been playing good. I know they lost to Texas, lost to Georgia. They played decent in those games, kept it kind of close until towards the end, and obviously the Texas Georgia pulled away. But yeah, give me Florida to cover. Uh, give me the points and Ole Miss to win.
Yeah, Ole Miss, here's another team coming off of a bye week last week. That only gets them, freshened up, ready to go. Florida last week beat LSU 27-16 at the Swamp. This game is at the Swamp at not, or it's at daytime. But they since DJ Lagaway has come in and played quarterback, they look like a totally different team. Um, they're they look a lot better than they did at the beginning of the year. They were about to get their coach fired until the freshman quarterback came in and played. Ole Miss, on the other hand, man, like you said, coming off of that beatdown at Georgia, they lost to Kentucky earlier in the year, but that probably was a fluke more than likely at home. At Florida beat LSU so bad last week that Brian Kelly and his players were screaming at each other on the sidelines, fighting. So that doesn't look good for LSU there. But I'm going to have to go with the road favorite in this one. Give me Ole Miss. Give me a Florida cover. And, give me an over. Give me an over in this one. Although Florida did shut down LSU's high-powered offense, I don't think they're going to shut down Ole Miss's. So give me the Rebels. Give me the over. Give me the Florida cover. Another one maybe you want to do player props on that. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
The next matchup, ACC's matchup. It's on ESPN2. It's ACC teams. What I'm trying to say. Easy for me to say. The number 13 SMU Mustangs travel to Charlottesville to face the Virginia Cavaliers. SMU is a 10-point favorite. The over-under is 57.5. Joey, SMU's hanging around on the edge of that playoff picture. Think they continue their winning ways this week against Virginia?
I do. Virginia's just not, they're not good. I know they beat Pitt, but and they're coming off a loss to Notre Dame. SMU's coming off a win against BC, which is I think who Carolina plays Saturday. But yeah, give me SMU to win. Give me the SMU to cover, and I say give me the over, because SMU can score points. I mean they're in the 30s and 40s on their last 5 games, except for one, the 28-27 win against Duke in overtime. But yeah, give me the over. SMU to win. SMU to cover.
So this is another one where the backup quarterback comes in and takes over. Jennings comes in, takes over for Stone, the quarterback at the beginning of the year. And SMU's been on a roll ever since. They've won 9 games in a row. They're undefeated in ACC play. They beat a decent Boston College team last week. Boston College, hung in there with them for a while. And then SMU kind of pulled away there in the second half a little bit to win by 10. Notre Dame just blew out Virginia. Virginia's 5-5, but somehow they beat Pitt. But I just don't think they're that good of a team. I like for SMU to go in here, and I like them to win. They were a big favorite last week against Boston College. They were 18-point favorites. They didn't cover. They're 10-point favorites here. I think they cover. And the over-under 57.5. Give me the over. I think they'll do it, and they'll score a lot of points in this one. So, yeah, give me SMU for all of it. The next matchup, 12 o'clock on Peacock. The number 25, they're hanging in there in the top 25. The Illinois Fighting Illini travel to New Jersey to face the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Rutgers is a 1-point favorite at home. The over-under is 47.5. Joey, what do you think about the Road Dogs here? The ranked Road Dogs.
Yeah, this is going to be a game where I'm not going to say teams that are similar, but as far as level of competition, I kind of feel like they're both right around the same ballpark. I think it's going to be, a decent game to watch. Probably a little kind of slower paced, but give me Illinois. Give me Illinois on the road. And give me the under in this one.
Yeah, I said Illinois has been kind of teetering a little bit there in that top 25. They were 24 last week or something. They were off last week, but the week before they were 24. This week they're 25. Rutgers isn't a bad little team. They're 6-4. They're the home favorites. they're already making a bowl. Both these teams are in a bowl. Give me Rutgers. Give me Rutgers to win this one. I think Rutgers will take the win here, and I think they'll cover that spread because it's just 1 point. And I like your under. I like your under in this one. So yeah, give me Rutgers. And the next 12 o'clock matchup, we step out of the top 25 and we head to the CW network in the ACC, where your North Carolina Tar Heels travel to Boston to face the Boston College Eagles. Carolina is a 2.5 point favorite. The over-under is 54.5. Joey, what do you think about your team here in this spot?
Well, uh, they better win, um, obviously, but uh, I think it's not going to be a landslide, game. I think Boston College is going to hang in there close, and Carolina, I think it's going to be a good game. Chris Wells finally got his legs under him. Finally starting to look comfortable the past 2 or 3 games, throwing the ball. And Amari Hampton, he's going to do what he's going to do. I mean, he's got 1,422 yards, 14 touchdowns this year. I mean, he's the focal point of the offense. But yeah, give me Carolina here to win this, and give me them to cover because I think they can probably squeak this out by field goal. Um, and I'm going to say, give me the under in this one too. Give me the under. I just don't see a lot of points. I know Hampton's going to get yards, but I just, I see it being in the mid-20 game or low 20s.
So Carolina's got a strange little streak going on here. They won their first three, then they lost their next four, then they won their next three. Do they start a new streak here this Saturday against Boston College at Boston College?
Let's hope not.
Um, Boston College, they they changed quarterbacks. Castellanos is gone, and then they had the backup come in and start last week. They played, like I said, they played SMU really close. Looked decent in that game. Had them down for a little bit. Um, Carolina, on the other hand, since Criswell took over at quarterback, he's not been bad. Um, he's he can run the ball a little bit. He can pass. And then you got Amarion Hampton, who is underrated at his position. He's about guaranteed 100 yards every game. I think it's going to be another big game for him this week. Give me Carolina in this one. I like him to cover that little spread, the 2.5 point spread. And I'll take an under in this one too because Boston College defense is decent. I mean, it's not nothing great, but it's decent. So I like Carolina in this one to win again. I don't think they start a new streak. I think they continue their winning streak.
There we go. Let's hope.
The next matchup, 12:45 on the SEC network. The Massachusetts Minutemen travel to Athens, Georgia to face the number 10 Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia is a 42-point favorite. The over-under is 55.5. Joey, is there any shot at all for Massachusetts, who seems like they've played several SEC teams this year?
Yeah, they have actually. Uh, yeah, that's interesting. I've seen that. No, that's why I was kind of fake yawning here. That this game, if you watch the full game, if you watch this full game, you're definitely a Georgia fan. Um, but if you're just watching football on Saturday, I mean, for me, this ain't gonna be the game to watch, nor the game to even put any bet on for anybody or anything because players are gonna get fooled probably in the second quarter. Uh, yeah, give me Georgia for all of it. Well, I don't know about give me the over. Yeah, give me it all because I think Georgia can probably put up 50 points at the half on this team.
Yeah, I think Carson Beck's probably going to get pulled early. This is going to be kind of like a mini bye for Georgia right here. Next to last game of the season, they're going to just beat this team down. They're going to get the second, third string guys, maybe even fourth string guys starting in this game right here. This is, like I said, this is just pretty much a mini bye for them. But give me Georgia in this one. I think that they cover, and I like the over in this one. And I'd mentioned that Massachusetts had a lot of SEC opponents. Well, they played Missouri and lost 45-3, and then they lost to Mississippi State 45-20. But they played a lot of MAC teams too, so maybe they're like an honorary member of the MAC and SEC. I don't know, but yeah, they didn't win any of the games against the MAC teams or the SEC teams. So, I don't think that Georgia's going to have any problem at all taking down the Minutemen from Massachusetts. And the 1:00 matchup on ESPN Plus or SEC Network Plus, the UTEP Miners travel to the number 11 Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee's a 40.5-point favorite. The over-under is 52.5. Joey, once again, this looks like another mini bye week right here. Tennessee coming off of a loss last week to Georgia. How do you think they'll do in this one?
They'll beat this team down. Games like this, it makes you wonder if they even will start, the starters. Tennessee could probably put their second string everything in and win this game still easily. But I think it's more or less just to keep the starters out there at least for a quarter and a half to, let them at least play, keep them fresh, I guess. But yeah, this is a carbon copy of the game we just went over. It's give me Tennessee for everything. It's like you said, it's just a little miniature bye to get them a win.
Tennessee last week coming off of a disappointment for them, losing to Georgia 31-17. I mean, they were right there in the thick of it. I mean, still number 11, but they could have moved up even more with that win. They lost at Georgia. Then they got UTEP this week, a mini bye, same as the other one. Like you said, they could start their second string. They could maybe even start some of their third string. It won't matter in this game. That you got to rest up the starters. They got Vandy next week, big in-state rivalry game. But give me Tennessee in this one. I think that 40.5 is a lot. I'll say UTEP covers, and that's only because Tennessee's going to bring in their fourth string by the third quarter. And give me an under in this one. It's not going to be good. Like 38-3 or something. That's what I could see it being. The next matchup, we go to 3:30 slots. On ABC, the Kentucky Wildcats travel to Austin, Texas to face the number 3 Texas Longhorns. Texas, a 20-point favorite. The over-under is 46.5. Joey, do we like the Road Dogs here?
I like the Road Dogs here to make it competitive. Do I think Kentucky? I think they will stay in it and have a chance to win. If the play calling is okay and the defense steps up, keep the penalties down, I think Kentucky will have a shot. But ultimately, for the sake of picking purposes, I'm going to have to lean with Texas. I definitely want Kentucky. I definitely taking Kentucky cover because I don't think that Texas is going to beat them by 20. But yeah, Vandergriff. I seen an interview. He was talking when they played Murray. He said he actually kind of liked it seeing all the backup guys get their reps in. So, but yeah, just hope he's ready to go.
When you look at this game and it shows like the leaders for the game, like for both teams, passing, rushing, receiving. Passing, Quinn Ewers leads both teams in passing, of course. But rushing, Demi Sumo Carnbay leads Kentucky and Texas. He has the most yards between both of them with a 505. And then receiving, Dane Key leads both with 686. So, look, Kentucky's leading 2 of the 3 categories right there for most rushing and receiving yards right there. That's crazy to think. Texas last week played a close game with Arkansas, 20-10. Really close game. Kentucky, of course, I mean, it's been a disappointing year for sure. You get blown out to a team, South Carolina, who turned out to be decent, um, but at the time they weren't that great. Then you lose to Vandy, which they turned out to be better than what they were. You lose to Florida by a lot, and it turns out that quarterback, the freshman quarterback I was talking about, they were a different team with him. Then you lose to Auburn at home, which I can't explain that one for you. And then you beat the teams you should beat. But when it comes to big time matchup games, Kentucky against number one Georgia almost beat them. I mean, they played them really close, 13-12. At Ole Miss, big bomb to Barryon Brown at the end of the game there on fourth down to beat Ole Miss. They actually beat them. And then they played at Tennessee. They played Tennessee close for most of the game. So for some reason, Stoops is getting them to play really good against the toughest opponents on the team or on the schedule. That's why I like for Kentucky to go down to Houston, to go down to Austin, 20-point underdogs. And I like for Kentucky to cover that spread and for Texas to win. Give me an under in this one here. I think Kentucky's going to keep it competitive. I think that they're going to surprise some people, and it's going to be close going into the fourth quarter, and people's going to be like, oh, Texas on upset alert. But ultimately, I think Texas will pull away. But this is the kind of game right here where Stoops will have the guys fired up. It's on the road. It's against a big-time opponent, and for whatever reason, they play them tough. But ultimately, Texas will pull it out. So give me Texas, but give me a Kentucky cover.
Yeah, I agree. But you was talking about the quarterback. If you look at the numbers, yours is thrown, 36, 37 more passes than Vandergrift, but yours has got 6 interceptions. Vandergrift's got 7. The quarterback numbers is not, compared between the two, not too bad. So, like you said, Kentucky's leading the other two in the game, and Vandergrift his numbers are right there with yours. Well, minus the touchdowns. Yours has got 21.
And also, yours, he didn't play a couple games. Arch Manning came in and played, but at the same time, they haven't had Vandergrift playing the whole game either. They bring in Gavin Wimsatt to play some points.
Yep.
Last week they had Cutter Boley playing, so they're not too far off. Are you trying to tell me that Brock Vandegrift is a better NFL prospect than Quinn Ewers?
No.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, okay. The next matchup, 3:30 matchup, the number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions travel to Minneapolis to face the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Penn State's 11.5-point favorite. The over-under is 44.5. This game is at Huntington Bank Stadium in Minnesota. Was that not the name of the stadium of the Browns last night? Huntington Bank Stadium? How many Huntington Bank stadiums do we need?
I don't know, but we know there's at least 2
here. We know there's at least 2. That's crazy. But yeah, who you got in this one, Joey?
Well, Minnesota's not played bad this year. They lost to Rutgers last week, but Penn State only lost, as you call it on this podcast, to Ohio State. So I'm not going to break that trend here. They're not playing Ohio State, or Michigan. So I'm definitely just going to say Penn State. Give me Penn State give me Minnesota to cover. I think it's going to be a little competitive game. Give me Minnesota to cover, and give me the under in this one.
So I looked it up. I guess there's a difference. They're playing this game at Huntington Bank Stadium. Last night it was played at Huntington Bank Field. Whatever. So I'll ask the question here. Penn State this week. Are they playing Ohio State?
Mm-mm.
No. Are they playing Michigan?
Mhm.
No. So it's Minnesota. Give me Penn State to win this one. I think Penn State will cover. I like the over in this one. I mean, they beat down Purdue last week. Purdue 49-10. With Minnesota, now that we say that, they had a big win earlier in the year against USC. And that was the game where there was a penalty called on Minnesota for unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. 15-yard penalty, simulating brandishing a weapon. That was that team right there. They get Penn State this week. I don't know if they're going to get called for another call like that. Give me the Nittany Lions, though. Give me the Nittany Lions to cover. And give me the over because I think they're going to put up a bunch of points in this one here. The next matchup, 3:30 matchup. The number 14 BYU Cougars travel to Tempe, Arizona to face the number 21 Arizona State Sun Devils, who just entered the top 25. Arizona State is a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. Joey, BYU coming off of a loss last week. What do you think about it?
Coming off a loss to Kansas that you called.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, other than the Kansas, blemish, BYU's would have been perfect on the year. But Arizona State's not a bad team either. It's kind of a questionable loss to Cincinnati, but they've took care of business every. This is a tough one. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out right here. I think Arizona State's gonna squeak it out at home.
Oh, wow. Got Arizona. Well, you got them covering because they are the favorite.
Yes, I can see them winning by last second field goal, last 2-minute drill drive down the field to win the game, something like that. I think it's gonna be a close one.
So you'd mentioned that I called the BYU Kansas game. Let me hold on a second. Pat myself on the back. And then also I called the Arizona State over Kansas State game too. I also picked that as my upset. This week here, man, BYU's coming into Arizona State's house. Scattaboo, the running back, has already got 1,000 yards rushing for Arizona State. He's been awesome this year. Retzlaff and Lassiter on the other end. They, didn't really get a whole lot going last week, which not much of the offense did. That's a really late night game. Kind of weird. This is a little bit earlier. I still like Arizona State. I'm with you on this. I think Arizona State wins this one. I think Arizona State covers that spread. Give me the Sun Devils and give me an under. Give me an under. Next 3:30 matchup. The number 16 Colorado Buffaloes traveled to Kansas City, Missouri to face the Kansas Jayhawks. This game is played at Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Chiefs. Colorado is a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 59.5. Joey, Kansas coming off of the big upset last week. Do they have a shot at 2 weeks in a row upsetting the team?
I don't think so. Um, Colorado is. I mean, they've been on a roll, man. Ever since that loss to Kansas State, they went on a tear. Um, and I think Coach Brown's got them right where they need to be. I think he's got them pumped up. Uh, Travis Hunter, I mean, plays every snap of the game and loves doing it. I mean, you hear the interviews with him and all that. It's like he loves it. He just loves the game of football. Uh, I think he's probably the front runner for the Heisman myself, in my opinion. You got a guy playing both sides of the ball, and he's that important to his team. Uh, Shadur Sanders, I mean, he'll have slow starts. Like first quarter, he'll have slow starts, but then once he gets in a groove, um, yeah, yeah. Give me Colorado on this one. Give me Colorado to cover, and definitely give me the over.
Yeah, Kansas last week, they pulled off a big upset. They're riding high. They've got to win out to make a bowl game. They're 4-6. Colorado comes into town coming off of a big, huge win over Utah. Last week, I think we said we didn't think that there'd be a whole lot of points scored. Maybe Utah's defense was pretty good. Okay. Colorado squashed that pretty quick.
Hmm.
And you got, like you said they started out slow, but I mean, they had 14 points in the first quarter last week. Maybe it wasn't Shadur, but still,
Yeah.
they got off to a fast start uh, as a team. And then Travis Hunter's out here striking Heisman poses, after one of his touchdown runs. He ran one in, and, just had a great game once again, both sides of the ball. He just doesn't play like special teams. If he did, I mean, whatever. He's managed to stay healthy for most of the year, which is big for him for playing both sides of the ball. I like Colorado to win this one as well. I think that they cover the spread and give me the over in this one. There's going to be a lot of points scored. I think Kansas will be able to score on Colorado, and I don't think that they'll be able to stop Colorado. So give me Colorado in this one.
That's
The
Travis
next
Hunter's
3:30
first
match,
career rushing touchdown too.
rushing
By the way.
touchdown. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's when he struck the pose. Was when he ran that in.
Yeah,
I believe
it
so.
was. Yeah.
The next 3:30 matchup on the CW network, the Citadel. Do we know the Citadel's mascot? Because I don't think I know.
Bulldogs,
Yeah,
I think.
Citadel Bulldogs. We'll go with it. Travel to number 17, Clemson Tigers. There's no spread, no over under. Joey, is there any reason Clemson would drop this game? The Citadel could go 6-6 with a win. Any shot?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this again here. I'm gonna take Clemson to win the game, no matter what the spread is, no matter what the over under is. Uh, this is like what the third game in a row on the slate, well, not in a row, but the third game on the slate that's just a mini bye for a team. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm going Clemson all the way.
So, are we sure it's the Citadel Bulldogs? Yeah, it is. You're right. It's the Citadel Bulldogs. Uh, yeah. I mean, what else can you say about this right here? Clemson last week, they beat Pittsburgh. Klubnik had a big run to end up winning that game for him. Man, this is like a mini bye right here, like we said in the other games. There's no reason Clemson's losing this game right here, right now. Give me Clemson. If there was a spread, give it to me and give me the over, but there's not. So Clemson wins. And then we stay in South Carolina for the next matchup. The Wofford. Do we know Wofford's mascot?
Terriers.
Wofford Terriers. There we go. Travel to Columbia to face the number 18 South Carolina Gamecocks. There's also no spread or nothing on this. South Carolina and Clemson play each other next week, so they get a mini bye this week. Joey, there's no reason South Carolina loses this one, right? Wofford also can go 6-6
No,
with a win.
no, they're not. They're not going 6-6 on this game. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, man, some of these games, the third and fourth string, could play the whole game. But yeah, South Carolina, that's my pick all the way.
South Carolina last week had a big lead against Missouri. It was up 21-6 at halftime. Let Missouri back in it. And then South Carolina pulls away. Well, not pulls away. They take the lead and win 34-30 at home. South Carolina has been has played really well this year. Surprisingly, they've been one of the biggest surprises in the SEC. And I don't think they drop this one here. And it leads to the showdown next week between the battle of the what state is South Carolina? I don't know. I want to say like the Sunflower State. I have no idea. the South Carolina State Championship next week between South
There we
Carolina
go.
and Clemson. Give me Carolina to win, and give me, says they're the Palmetto State. Yeah, okay. We'll go with South Carolina State Championship. Give me South Carolina to win, and if it was a cover and all that, I think I'd take them for the cover. Next matchup, 4:15. These games are getting better here in a minute, I promise. Number 23, Missouri Tigers travel to Starkville to face the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Missouri is a 9-point favorite. The over-under is 57.5. Joey, it looks like Brady Cook is playing. He played last week. What do you think about this one here?
I think it's partial mini buy for Missouri too. Mississippi State's bad. Uh, yeah, give me. I'm surprised the spread's not bigger than 8. Um, maybe something to look at for a bet slip because that's not a bad. That's anyway. Yeah, give me Missouri. Give me Missouri to cover, and I'll say give me the over. I think Missouri can put up points on them in a hurry, get out to a big lead.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Missouri wins this game. I like Missouri to cover. I like the over. Um, Mississippi State, they've played some close games. I mean, they're 2-8. They ain't won an SEC game. They've played some close games this year with some bigger teams like, was it Texas A&M? I think they played them pretty close. But Missouri, they've kind of struggled a little bit. They were hoping they would be in that playoff contention. They started out number 6. At one point in time, they were number 6 in the land. Fallen since then. Brady Cook's got hurt a little bit. He's healthy now. He'll be playing. I don't see any reason why they don't just cover all that. Give me Missouri, and give me Missouri cover and the over.
I'm
And
thinking about
now
hopping
we
on that
head.
real quick. I'm thinking about hopping on that 8 point spread for that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that they'll cover that pretty easily. I don't see how that's that low, but we don't make the lines, I guess.
Wish we did.
The next matchup, oh boy, this is one of them I was talking about. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. 7 o'clock matchup on NBC. The number 19 Army Black Knights face the number 6 Notre Dame Fighting Irish from Yankee Stadium. Notre Dame, a 14-point favorite. The over-under is 45.5. Joey, what do you think about this one here?
I do not think Notre Dame is 14 points better, should I say, than Army. Um, I'm gonna say, man, this is close. This is gonna be a close one. This is gonna be like another one of the games that I'm gonna be waiting to watch when it comes on to see how it goes.
Yes.
They both played great. Of course, Army undefeated. Uh, Notre Dame. Oh man, Leonard for Notre Dame. He's surprisingly starting to work out for him. Beginning of the year, I didn't really think he was going to pan out, but he's actually panned out for him. Uh, and then you got Daly on the other side, leading them in passing and rushing. I mean, the dude does it all, and he's going to have to do it all to beat Notre Dame. Um, I'm going to go ahead and say, give me Army. Give me Army. Give me Army to win. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's go. Let's go. It's either going to look really good on my pick part or it's going to look really bad like last week. So, yeah, give me Army, obviously for them to cover, and give me the over.
Army has not lost a game this year. They have been crushing opponents until they played Air Force. They only put up 20 points. Before the game started, they announced that Bryson Daly was out for disciplinary reasons, whatever that is. They won. He came back last week or the week before last against North Texas, and they won 14-3. Not the high-powered offense that they were doing before. I don't know. That kind of worries me a little bit. Notre Dame, on the other hand, lost one game this year, somehow to Northern Illinois, who turned out to not be a good team at all. And I'm pretty sure that's the one that burned you on Notre Dame was that game right there.
It was.
They lost 16-14. If Army can play their game and they can, keep the ball out of Notre Dame's hands and have like one of those classic Army 12-minute drives, limit possessions, 3 yards at a time, Army's got a shot. This game's at Yankee Stadium. It's at night. If Army can win this game, they're somehow in the college football playoff discussion. I want to say, my head's saying Notre Dame, but it would be unpatriotic of me to go against Army in this one. Give me the Black Knights. Give me Army to cover because they're the underdogs. Give me the road. Well, I can't say the road dogs because they're a neutral field. Give me Army to win this one. Give me the under in this game right here. But yeah, let's go. Let's go Army. Let's go.
I got a feeling about it. I got a feeling it's going to happen.
That's a game that's going to be on my TV. I'm going to be watching that game right there.
Me too.
I can't wait to see it. The next 7 o'clock matchup, talking about playoffs. This is a team that's hanging in the playoffs. Number 12, Boise State Broncos travel to Laramie, Wyoming to face the Wyoming Cowboys. Boise State's a 23-point favorite. Over-under's 57.5. Joey, do you like Genty to get 200 in this one?
Yes. I think this is going to be one of his bigger games recently. I mean, he's kind of cooled off a little bit, from what he was doing earlier in the year. But I look for him to have
what he was doing.
Yeah, what he was doing. I look for him to have one of his games that he was doing earlier in the year in this game. Give me Boise for everything. I think they'll cover that spread easy. Give me the over. I think Genty's probably going to have 2, maybe 3 touchdowns, maybe 2 or 3 in the first half, and he may not even play the second half.
So Genty last week, like you said, he's cooled off a little bit. He had a measly 159 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. The guy's really slacked off lately. He's had a bad game here lately. I mean, he's had bad games recently, is what I'm saying. He's got 26 touchdowns on the season. Like, come on, dude, right? Like, what are you doing? The game before last, he had 209 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. He had 149 and he had 128. So I mean, we talk like he's been down, but like it is crazy. What he's been able to do. He's in the Heisman conversation as well. I think that he has another big game this week. I like Boise to win this one. I like Boise to cover. Wyoming is a bad team. Josh Allen's not the quarterback there anymore. But give me the over in this one too because I think they're going to put up a lot of points. Madsen, the quarterback for Boise, has played really good lately. Everybody's keeping their focus on Genty. Well, Madsen here can throw the ball a little bit. And then if you try to cover that, then Genty's going to run the ball. So I like Boise in this one. I like them to continue their momentum. Give me Boise in this one and a cover and over. And then we head to 7:30 matchup on ABC. The number 7 Alabama Crimson Tide travel to Norman, Oklahoma to face the Oklahoma Sooners. Alabama is a 13.5-point favorite. The over-under is 46.5. This game probably looked a lot better earlier in the year than what it does right now. But, Joey, what do you think about this one here?
Well, I got Alabama in this one. And the reason why is Milroe's been playing really good. He was at LSU. I think he ran all over them.
Yes.
And he's just doing it all. He's kind of like Daly for Army. It's you cover the pass, he's going to run. He's double threat. It's your defense has really got to be on his toes when he's got the ball in his hands. But yeah, give me Alabama to win. I think Alabama will cover this. Um, I don't see them losing, and I'd say give me the over.
Yeah, like you were saying, Milrow has really played good here lately. He had a huge game against LSU, running all over him. Last week they beat Mercer 52-7, which was kind of their mini bye before getting into the real stuff here. Oklahoma, on the other hand, man, what a down year for them. I mean, if they win, they make a bowl game, which I'm pretty sure that's not the standard for Oklahoma football. I don't know. They've been down for a little while here. But your first year in the SEC, you want to kind of make a splash, and Oklahoma did not. They played Tennessee close earlier in the year, and then they got beat down by their rival Texas, and then they followed it up with a beat down against South Carolina. Then Ole Miss handled them pretty well, and then Missouri beat them. But Oklahoma just isn't the same team as what you're used to with Oklahoma. Alabama's just going to be too much for them. 13 and a half on the road. Yeah, give me Alabama to cover that. I think that they win it by a couple of touchdowns, maybe even more. And give me the over in that one. The next matchup, 7:30 on ESPN. Oh, and also, did you know with Alabama that Ryan Williams leads the team in receiving? Did you know he's 17? Anyways, the next 7:30 matchup on ESPN. The number 15 Texas A&M Aggies travel to Auburn, Alabama to face the Auburn Tigers. Texas A&M only a 2.5 point favorite in this one. The over/under is 46.5. Joey, think that spread's a little low? Seems a little low to me.
It is. I'm gonna say give me Texas A&M by a touchdown. That's how I kind of see the game. Uh, but yeah, I got LSU. My goodness, still stuck on the last pick. Talking about it. Yeah, give me Texas A&M to win this. I got them to cover. Um, Auburn's kind of had a up and down year. They've only won one conference game. Uh,
Oh, you had to say it. You had to say it.
eh, I didn't say. I just said they only won one conference game. I ain't gonna say who they beat, but everybody knows. But anyway, yeah, give me Texas A&M to cover, and give me the over in this one too.
Yeah, Auburn, one conference win. They looked really great in that game. Uh, and then they've lost to Vandy by a lot. They played Missouri close, lost to Georgia by a lot, lost to Oklahoma by a little bit. Oklahoma's only got one conference win too. It's been kind of a down year. Kind of, it has been a down year for Texas A&M, or for Texas A&M for Auburn. Texas A&M, on the other hand, they're 8-2. This game, though, I kind of see now why it is just a 2.5 point spread. Texas A&M next week has Texas on the schedule to end the season. Texas A&M may be looking a little ahead to Texas, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I just don't think Auburn's going to be that good. Auburn's not that good, shall I say? So I think Texas A&M wins this one. I think that they cover them with you, maybe about a touchdown, and give me an over on this one as well. But yeah, this could be Auburn could sneak up there and keep it close, but I don't think they will. And then that leads us to the last top 25 matchup of the week, 7:30 on Fox. The number 22 Iowa State Cyclones, who are still in the top 25 somehow, travel to Salt Lake City to face the Utah Utes. Iowa State's a 7 point favorite. The over-under is 41.5. Joey, is Cam Rising starting for Utah this week?
Negative. Uh, yeah,
Throwback.
that's throwback. Yeah. Utah, man. I mean, they've looking at their last five. I mean, they're all losses. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see, BYU played them close, played Houston close, and I think that's their defense. Their defense is pretty
Yes.
good, pretty decent. But their offense just can't seem to keep up with anybody else. So Yeah, give me Iowa State in this one. Give me Iowa State to cover. I think they'll cover it by more than 7. But yeah, and then give me the over in this one too.
So Iowa State, they started out the season was 7-0, and then they lost to Texas Tech by 1, and then they lost to Kansas the week after, which Kansas has gotten a couple teams lately.
Mm-hmm.
And they bounced back last week with a win against Cincinnati. The other hand, Utah, I think they've about quit. Uh, they started out 4-1, and then they lost their last 5. And last week was just embarrassing against Colorado. It wasn't even competitive at all. I like I like Iowa State to win this one. I don't think Iowa State's particularly a good football team, but for this purpose here, they're in the top 25 somehow still. Give me Iowa State to win this one, and I like Iowa State to cover the spread and give me an under. Give me an under in this one, and
Watch out
that'll
for the
be that
tortilla.
there.
What wasn't it? Wasn't
Watch.
it?
Oh, no,
Yeah,
well,
remember?
no, it wasn't. It wasn't Utah. It wasn't Utah.
No,
Yeah, they're at Utah, but yeah,
yeah. But
the
I was just wanting to bring
tortillas.
that up, like the tortillas, man. That was. I'm surprised that something didn't get brought up after the game, or we ain't heard nothing about that because there was a lot of them hitting the field, hitting the players, referees.
That was Texas Tech.
Yes, that was
That was
Texas Tech.
Texas
Yeah,
Tech.
look at me, first time in a long time. Got my games confused.
Hey, don't worry about it. When it gets to the Big 12 teams, middle of the pack, they're all about the same. So whatever.
They all kind of blend in
Don't look
together.
now. Don't look now. But if BYU loses and Colorado wins, Colorado's got a shot to get in the playoffs. How
Hmm.
exciting would that be?
Oh, and BYU
That
could
would be really
lose.
exciting. BYU could. I mean, I think I picked them to lose this week.
I did too. We both
Again.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe so. And tonight, Kentucky plays Jackson State in basketball. Give me the Wildcats in this one. In one of the biggest tournaments of the preseason, the BBN Invitational. You've got prestigious teams like Jackson State, Lipscomb, and Western Kentucky. I mean, you throw the record books out when those 4 teams get together for the BBN Invitational, Joey. You're
I'm
all
telling
playing
you.
in like, was it the Maui Invitational or something, second tier tournament like that or whatever?
Yeah. 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 Telling you, man.
Little Maui Invitational. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little Maui invitational going on here. Nothing to see here.
So Carolina plays tonight at 12:30. It's going to be a late one, Joey.
Oh, it's going to be a late one, but I was looking on Twitter and there was all the Carolina's Twitter. All the people's on there. They're like, well, guess we're staying up till 2:30 in the morning, I guess. So it's going to be tough, but I'm going to watch the game. Um, I just I want to say I hope it's a close game, an exciting game, so I can stay awake. But then again, I kind of don't because I don't want it to be. I would rather than be up by 30 and me just doze off than
Yeah.
them have a chance of losing to Hawaii. But
Well, I think I like the scheduling here because they're already out there for the Maui. You haven't played. When was the last time they played? They played last week.
yeah,
They've
Friday.
played since camp. They played American last Friday. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
like I like them to come out here and play in a game before the Maui tournament to kind of get them used to the time zone difference and everything, and
Hmm.
get them ready for the tournament next week. But I like the scheduling there. But yeah, we got some basketball. Man, there's basketball on right now, on for the rest of the day, all the way up until after Thanksgiving. This is feast week. This is the best time of the year for college basketball. You got college
Yes,
basketball, college football, NBA, NFL. It's all good if you're a sports fan of basketball and football. We got it all day from here until after Thanksgiving, which is great.
it is great. greatest time of the year. Feast week, college football getting close to playoffs. I mean, NBA Cups going on. Those are some
Yeah.
exciting games too because they're actually competitive. I'm actually getting
Mhm.
into it when it's the NBA Cup. Yeah,
Oh yeah, me too. But man, that will do it for our picks this week. Hopefully, maybe one of us will go perfect next week. We'll see. This week coming up, maybe we'll see. I mean, we've been close. We've been really close. When you pick 21 games in a week and you hit 20 of them, that's pretty good. It's like that week you did it too earlier in the year. I mean, we both went a week where we just missed one game. Let's see if
imagine
we
money
can do it
lining.
again.
Imagine money lining
I
your picks last
look.
week.
I've told people, don't go with our over unders on this or our
No,
spreads.
no.
But you can take our money lines if you want, because I'll put that record up against anybody on this thing, with the way it's been this year and how well we've picked money lines.
And I recommend people doing them separate. Um, I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend putting a big 21 leg parlay for money
No,
lines. You know,
no.
maybe take two, three of the heavy favorites, put them together, and then some of the bigger time
Mm-hmm.
games. I would, if if anybody is going to put bets on anything, I would do those separate. That's just me.
Or if you would have went last week and you were like, well, I want to take, you could took Kansas against BYU and Arizona State against Kansas State, took them two as underdogs, took them money line, and you would have won pretty good. Just a two legger right there off of a couple upsets that was picked.
Yes,
You know,
for sure.
but bet at your own discretion. But
Yeah.
you can roll with what we got though. It's not bad. But that'll do it here for the picks. We'll see you all later.